Alrighty, we are live for the Florida Panthers at the Toronto Maple Leafs. Expecting a massive series from these two. Lot of hitting, lot of speed. Same thing you expect in every playoff game, but these two tend to go at it. Boston and Toronto always win at it, so Marchand has just as much skin in the game as he usually does. Um, as far as I know, Ekblad still has to serve one more game, so I'm not sure who's going to be in for him with that. We got 11 and a half minutes till puck drop. And tomorrow, 4 o'clock for Washington, Carolina, and 6:30 for Vegas, Edmonton. 6:30 is the main one, but I do plan on being here at 4. We'll probably go through or into second intermission, switch over to the Vegas stream, and get it on that one. Very much looking forward to tomorrow. Just hoping Edmonton minds their P's and Q's. We don't need guys. And Vegas, too. I've said it many times. Pietrangelo needs to hold his emotions and not be a dumb shit. Along with everybody else. Like, don't get penalties for reacting. Don't do anything like that. If they're gonna do something, hopefully we get the calls and take the power play. But no freebies to Edmonton. Let's see, tonight, Toronto and Florida. Looking at the stats, Florida is 25% on the power play. Toronto is 35.3. Toronto has a tendency to win faceoffs, and Florida has a tendency to split. Goals for Florida, 3.8. Goals for Toronto, 3.17. So Florida has the higher scoring ability and a 2.4 against, while Toronto has a 2.67. So numbers in the way of goals for, goals against favor Florida. They score more and give up less. But Toronto having 35.3% on the power play means Florida really, really needs to stay out of the box. And I mean, that's a given for both sides. No easy goals. But at 35%, that's a little deadlier than your average. So I am taking Florida. Kind of expect Bob to be a brick wall. Stellaris can be scored on, especially by Florida. I'm going to go 5-2 Panthers. Even in Toronto, game 1, I'm taking 5-2 Panthers. I do want to look at something real quick, though. See me if I can find it real quick. There it is. Been a while since Florida and Tampa played. Uh, 6-2 in Tampa, 2-0 in Tampa, and then 6-3 in Tampa. So yeah, they got no worries about being in on away ice. So I just see them scoring like crazy, and I expect, like I said, Bobrovsky, I expect to be a brick wall. Checking out the Hurricanes and the Capitals. Capitals pretty low, 23 on their face-off percentage, power play percentage, 23.1%. Carolina at a 31.6. New Jersey didn't score a power play against Carolina. Carolina and Washington matched at 48.9% on the face-off. And Hurricanes have the advantage at 3.8 goals for, 2.2 against to Washington's 3.6 for, and 2.4 against. Now, granted, Carolina played New Jersey, and granted, Montreal put up a pretty good fight. Washington was playing Montreal. So these two playing together, those stats should look a little bit different. Game one, what is it, in Washington? Right? It's not in Raleigh. Yeah, it's in Washington. Game one, Carolina, Washington, in Washington. I'll call that 4-2 with the Capitals empty net. Probably getting the empty net towards like 60 seconds or less. And then looking at Vegas and Edmonton. 27.8 on the power play. They're 38.5. Penalty kill for us is 76.9. They're 60%. So I like those. I like those odds a little bit more. We're better on the face-off. Our goals for is 3.0 and against is 3.17. Their for is 4.5, but their against is 4. Now, we all know how that series went. And the big thing is Vegas, at least in my opinion, I mean, granted, I'd be willing to listen to the opposition. Vegas has good third periods typically. They either have a bad start, a rough second period, decent start, rough second period, or incredibly, they have a decent second period, which doesn't happen much. But we're not going, I mean, it's not going to be like LA where they go down 3 goals and they just have to wait it out to the third period when LA has 0 fuel in the tank. They're not going to be able to wait us out quite like that. So I would. Oh, that one's actually behind. So yeah, I'm obviously taking Vegas in Vegas. It's odd to me that link is actually that far behind. All right. I am not sure. Let me check this one and see where it's at. I wasn't paying attention to the fact that the lottery was happening, or else we'd have probably hung out and watched that one. Not sure which feed is gonna be the one that's ahead of everything. So I know this one's way behind. First guy, which one to show him talking? Are they gonna show it on here? Ba-ba-ba. Okay, so those are the same. Okay. Nice. Okay. Well, just making sure, and the home feed it is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We'll get through O Canada, and we are at puck drop. Here we go. Let me see. There's Schmitty, Balinskis, I guess. Everybody else we should know. And Yarncroc, I still get mixed up all the time. And Lawton and Lawrence, I get mixed up all the time. But I'm going to do my best here. Bobrovsky versus Dolars. Let's go. Doing my best I can. Like, I can only say it so much before they finally step up to the face-off circle and we get, or face-off dot and we get going. There it is. First face-off, knocked into the Florida zone by Nyes. Bobrovsky sends it up the high wall, kept in by Matthews, but Florida's going to get it out. Verhaeghe loses it at the Toronto blue line. Matthews kicks it down to McCabe. He makes the red line and dumps it in. Pacioretty chasing it down to the high corner. Pressured by Forsling. He goes back up the high wall. I can't see the number. Shot and they score! Toronto goes on the board in a matter of seconds. 33 seconds to be exact, and the first shot of the game. Nylander buries past Bobrovsky, and that is a hell of a way to say, oh yeah, Bob's going to be a wall? Watch this. Pacioretty sends it up to the high point. Nylander skates in, and dude battling with Tavares just doesn't get Jones. Battling with Tavares doesn't get Tavares out of the way. It was as simple as that. 3-0 so far in these playoffs when scoring first. That's the Maple Leafs. Unbelievable start to this game. Scoring for the Toronto Maple Leafs, William Nylander. Assisted by Pacioretty and McCabe. Damn, and then Tavares throws one on from the high dot that Bob has to fight off with the blocker. Yeah, that's Nylander's fourth. 33 seconds into this game. Battle on the high boards, kicked out front. Marchand is there. Puck gets out, turned over to Benoit at neutral. Leafs now coming out of their zone, kicked all the way up. Lawton held off by I forgot Kulikov. I always forget Kulikov. All right, Riley back in his own zone for Toronto. Between the dots, looking how to go up the ice. He goes low wall. Holberg going hard in, gets pressured, and the puck comes back Florida's way. Right on net to Stellaris. He kicks it to Riley, and Riley gets it out all the way back, and we have a Maple Leafs icing. Toronto just wasting no time. And I mean, good shot by Nylander, but Tavares just held his ground against Jones. Jones did a pathetic attempt to try and clear him out from in front of the crease. All right, we got a tip out of play. Almost 2 minutes gone in the first period, and we already have a Maple Leafs lead. Not how I expected this game to go. Not how I expected this game to start. In 2 minutes, there's been 2 shots, both by Toronto, including the goal. Florida wins the face-off in the Leafs zone, kicking it out front, and it's stopped. McCabe now entering the zone on the low wall, pressured by Jones. Gets it to the high corner, and Florida is going to take it back for Hagee. All the way up to Barkov, all the way down. Damn. Reinhart. I'm struggling. I know. Hang on. Puck at the low point. Little battle happens. Ends up at Stellaris. Settles it for Tanev. Matthews kicks it back to his own man. And McCabe sends it around the net. Tanev now from his own zone. Back to McCabe. And McCabe sends it forward to Nylander, who dumps it in. Pacioretty down low. Nylander wraps around. He gets checked by Kulikov. Little bit of a cross check, but I guess we'll look the other way. Florida loses it at the red line. Good recovery. But that was Tkachuk stumbling and fumbling through neutral. Leafs have it settled as Florida makes a change. Benoit up the low boards. Out of his own zone. Marchand fights the puck, but Lorentz ends up with it, getting it deep. Lindell kicks it around to Barkov, who kicks it forward. Across the red line to Schmidt. It's inside. Marchand shoots. Hits a body out in front, and that was Riley. Nick Mann working it forward. Riley dumps it deep. Puck down low, and Florida's going to head back the other way. Lustranen gets it deep. He's chasing. And we have an icing on the Panthers. 16-12 to go in the first. And they took the second shot away from Toronto. So, already, in 16-12, we have one shot, and that is the goal for Toronto. Tavares is 91. 19 is Yarncroc. I keep forgetting about Yarncroc. All right. Toronto wins the face-off from the Florida zone. Shot up front. Bobrovsky knocks it away as it was tipped toward him. Puck on the low boards. Working it up. And Florida is going to get it out. All the way down, and we have another Panthers icing. They added a shot again, and then they take it away. I got an idea here, guys, and I know. Who am I? But how about we make sure it counts as a shot, and then we put the number that we add to the little counter, rather than putting the number up and then 30 seconds later taking it back. Shot goes wide of the Florida net. Matthews has it bounce off his stick down low. Lindell trying to fight for it. Or is that Lundell? It's Lundell, not Lindell. I've got Dallas on the mind for some stupid reason. Back the other way. Shot from the low dot by Toronto. Hits a skate in front of him. Puck comes back out. It was 26. Balinskis. Jones pitches it through neutral, and Tanev is back to get it. He works it around under pressure from Verhaeghe. Tavares kicks it forward to McCabe. Toronto's out. Kicked ahead. And what the hell just happened? Okay, apparently I was a little bit behind, and the feed decided that it was having none of it because it just skipped me ahead to not being behind. I'm sitting here watching Toronto leave their zone. Next thing I know, Stolarz is getting his mask knocked off by a puck. That was a good hard shot by Reinhardt. He didn't really have many options as to where to go. It definitely hit something and deflected to Stolarz's face. So he was probably trying to go over glove side, like glove side shoulder, but hit something on the way. Toronto make their way out. Riley, Pacioretty coming up the middle. He's going to try and play it deep. Mikkola has it on the low wall, and Bennett gets it out. All the way back, Carlo trying to play it under pressure from Tkachuk. Riley gets it ahead. It's not out. And if Mikkola was paying attention, he could have turned around and done something with that puck, but he was too busy pushing somebody against the wall. Jones, from his own low circle, across the blue, sends it up. That looked close. Florida might be interested in that one. Puck goes all the way around the net. It was like, and it goes out. Florida's going to go all the way back to Bob, who plays it back to Jones down low. Doesn't get it past. That's who was that? Bob makes a glove save from the point. Who was that? Lawton. I wanted to say Lorentz, but I know 18 is Lorentz. Dang it. All right, 13:40 to go in the first. As of right now, shots are 3-1 Toronto, but we all know how much that means. Not much. Oh, no. I thought it'd be a good idea to refresh the feed. It's starting to skip around a little bit. But now it's not working at all. It's not cool. I guess we sit and wait. Let's see. Each side has 4 face-off wins, and the hits are 5-3, 6-3 Florida. Each side has 1 block shot and 2 giveaways. Well, this is a bummer. Man, what happened? There we go. All right. Let's see. Thought so. I don't know, man. Like, I keep seeing the Chipotle commercials, and it's been like years since I've had Chipotle. Some of it looks good. I don't feel like I'm missing much. It's like as good as it looks going and getting a California burrito from like Roberto's. I'm good with that. Well, actually, maybe back when they were $5. Anyway, about 13 and a half to go in the first as a puck comes bouncing in on Bobrovsky from the point. Showing Stolarz, Lorentz, and Ekman Larson for Florida, who are all lifting the cup, who are all now playing for Toronto. Marchand out of his own zone. Cuts to the center, across the blue line. Tries to dump it deep. It barely makes it across the blue line. They're going to call offside, and Marchand being a little shit. And Domi. It's like, all right. Marchand just going and being Marchand, a little bastard. And Domi's like, bro, we're the same size. It's not, if you want to... Hang on. It's like, don't go after the bigger guys. I'm right here, man. Let's go. What the hell was the penalty? I mean, it said a cross check, but... I saw Marchand throw like 3 cross checks. How is Toronto going to the box for a cross check after I just watched Marchand throw a bunch? That makes no sense. Yeah, but nobody has any reason why. Oh. It was that Marner trying to head back the other way, shorthanded. Jones kicks it back. Reinhart across the red line, into the zone. Tkachuk sends it down low. Tanev back. Reinhart picks it back, but McCabe is there to send it all the way down the ice. 30 seconds gone. In the Florida power play. Jones out of his own zone. Kicks it back. Trying again. Barkov kicks it across, but nobody home at the neutral line. Tkachuk trying to work it forward. Reinhardt's going to reset Barkov. He dumps it in from the red line. Tkachuk down to get it. Benoit gets there first. Trying to work it to Yarncroc. And Benoit gets it back and sends it the length of the ice. 60 seconds gone. In the Florida power play. Bennett out of his own zone. Across the red line. Rodriguez in. Good stop, McCabe. Tanev back behind his own net. Sends it up to Lawton. And Lawton sends it down. Nate Schmidt from the Florida zone. Trying again. Bennett gets in. Gets a shot, and Stolarz makes the save down low. Covers it up, and we will have a face-off in the Maple Leaf zone. 29 seconds left on the clock. Say Bennett, that's the first time Florida got across the blue line. They finally got a shot on that too, but that's the first time they've entered the zone under any kind of control. Lundell gets kicked out of the face-off, so Bennett will take it against Matthews. Benoit comes away with the puck after the face-off, and he sends it the length of the ice. 20 seconds to go on the Florida power play. 11:40 left in the first period. Schmidt kicks it up to Marchand. Into the zone to Bennett. Back to Marchand. But Carlo is there to knock the puck away. Puck comes all the way down the low boards. Lundell to Marchand. Working up to the point. Top of the high circle. Schmidt hits a body out front. And the puck is cleared, and we are back to full strength hockey. Florida resetting back across the red line. He's got speed. He takes a shot, and Stolarz. Who was that? That was Ekman Larson coming back from his own zone. Just made crazy moves to get straight through to Stellaris. Is that... Wait. No. That was Boquist. Ekman Larson made a good play. Dude, I'm getting confused by the names, and I apologize. That really threw me off because I knew something didn't sound right. Ooh, Nylander able to toss it out of the zone back into the Florida area. Jones resets. Florida across the red line. Kulikov dumps it in. Reinhart gets checked down low. Nyes ends up getting it out. He's got help. Yarncroc and McCabe. McCabe gets to the low corner, sends it around. Kulikov just got nailed by McCabe. It looked like Kulikov went for the hit, and McCabe just kind of leaned into it and let him get wrecked. Reinhart gets it deep. And it looks like they are calling in offsides on Verhaeghe, maybe? Or what happened? It looked like everything was fine, so I'm confused as to what the call is there. Dude, McCabe sees Kulikov coming and just leans into him. And Kulikov gets blasted. Good grief. That was a solid hit. Call it a reverse hit. That was absolutely a come get some moment for McCabe. All right, we are at commercial break. Yeah, the phone plugged in. Alrighty. So, again, I don't think anybody was expecting a goal in 33 seconds with these two teams. But since then, this is a little closer to what I expected. I honestly thought there would be a lot more shots in the first 10 minutes and 11 seconds than 6. Each side has 3. So, wild start. Willing to bet it'll be a wild finish. See, like, the stuff, they're showing a commercial right now that's like a come visit LA commercial, right? And all the stuff they're showing is all the reason, it's all the reasons why people love California and want to go to California or LA. But there's this thing called, like, reality of what LA is at the current moment, and I'm not so sure that comes across very well in the commercial. Let's leave it at that. Leafs get behind Bob, but Kulikov makes it first. Mikula and Bennett struggling in the top corner. Yarncroc battling still. Puck comes all the way down. Benoit's going to get there first. Oh, and he misplays the puck, but somebody got taken down up high and lost his helmet. That was away from the play. It looked interferency or cross-checky. I couldn't quite tell, but there was definitely no reason for him to go down like that and lose his helmet. Florida headed back the other way. That's offsides. Marchand was offsides by 2 feet. Yeah, tomorrow and Wednesday we have doubleheaders. So both days we start at 4. reset roughly about 6:30, 6:45-ish, and then go through the second game. Puck makes its way back to Nate Schmidt out of his own zone. Gets tipped ahead, and Marchand sends it deep. Riley back. Sends it around the boards behind the net. Carlos sends it high and takes a hit for doing so. That was definitely a hold. Not sure why that wasn't an icing, but there was definitely a hold through neutral that, again, went uncalled. Puck all the way down low. Lundell tips it to Marchand. He throws it out to the low circle. Riley makes the stop, sends it the other way. The puck comes right back in. Florida going for a change. Puck all the way in. Toronto, nice. Storming through the center, and he takes a shot and gets stopped by Bob. Barkov on him the whole way, and he still gets a good shot on net to challenge the Florida goaltender. Florida now 3-on-2. Pass gets knocked away. Verhaeghe behind the net, trying to get it out to the center. It's taken by McCabe. Tanev to help out. He's going to send it up the low wall. Good body by the captain, Matthews, to get it up to Nyes. Marner dumps it down. And Florida Marner gets a little bit of a hit. Benoit a little bit of a hit, but Barkov coming up the low boards. Dumps it into the zone, 1-on-4. Benoit sends it around. Ekman-Larsson tries to get it high, but it's turned over. Florida currently has it, dumping it down below the net. Oh, who was that? Greer was down by himself. Pacioretty now in the Florida zone. Shot on by Ekman-Larsson. Rebound given up, and Toronto scores! The rebound given up by Bobrovsky comes out to the high circle, and Nylander is there to bury his second of the game. Yeah, Pacioretty just storms in ahead of everybody. Ekman-Larsson gets it. Sorry, the shot came straight out to the middle between the circles. That's a bad leave by Bobrovsky. Granted, you don't always have the ability to control your rebounds, but that's a bad place to put that one. And he was just allowed to crash. I mean, the shot already came and bounced off. Florida's still making their way over to the low circle. Scoring for the Toronto Maple Leafs with his second of the game, William Nylander, assisted by Ekman-Larsson and Pacioretty. Florida looking for a miracle as they work their way out of the zone. Nate Schmidt storming in. Leaves it to Marchand. Marchand takes forever to shoot it and then misses the net. I feel like he had a great chance. He got Nate Schmidt right up tight. Ustroninen gets checked hard into the boards. Looked like a little bit of a cross-check to me, but we won't talk about that. Apparently, Brad Marchand throwing a bunch of cross-checks is a Toronto penalty, but that's about the only penalty, apparently. McCabe tries to kick it out from the low corner. Kept in by Mikkola, thrown towards the net. Stolarz fights it off. Tanev tries to send it up. Domi gets it across the blue line. Going in for McMahon, and we have a delayed penalty. Now a penalty for a hold on Florida. And just as I complain about the penalties, one gets called. Where is it? Dude, watch Nylander drop a natty hattie in the first period. so far, this has been a wild start that I did not see coming. Like, I really thought that Florida would show up the way they did against Tampa in Tampa for game one. But just, like I said, I don't even know, man. Just not how I expected this game to go. We'll see how Florida responds. Leafs have a power play when we get back from commercial. You know what? I'm going to crank the fan up a little higher. Ooh. All right. Mikkola. Oh, yeah. Just reaches out and grabs Holberg's arm, so. Damn, dude, they're already a minute 37 into the power play. How is this? Or they're already like 23 seconds into the power play. I need to find a better link. This is so far behind. There we go. All right, I got one. 120 to go on the power play. Much closer. Marner leaves it back. Matthews crosses the red line. Nice, trying to tip it forward, and it gets sent back. Nylander's going to have to reset with Marchand chasing him down. .50 seconds to go on the Toronto power play. Riley passes it back. Domi. Did we just get a... Did Toronto just get a too many men? That's not what you do with a 2-0 lead, gentlemen. I mean, guys going... Oh, yeah, no, that's... They actually had 7. That was just off frame. Just out of frame. Hang on a second. All right, I'm going to go to this feed. Hopefully I can see it a little bit better. Toronto coming out of their own zone. 35 seconds on the 4-on-4. Driving in, McMahon just puts it off of Bobrovsky. That was close, but Riley keeps it in, backhands it down. McMahon tried to feed it through on the pass, and it gets tipped away. Domi now. Florida cannot get it out to the center. McMahon all the way around to the high point. Nobody back. Matthews into the Florida zone. And a backhand goes off the side of the net. Matthews still going around as Florida has the extra man. Maple Leafs playing a little bit of keep away and then icing the puck. Nope, they did not get it down, so Florida's going to come storming in. Jones on the low wall kicks it back to the low point. Reinhart kicks it up high. Verhaeghe from the top dot down to the low dot, and Barkov couldn't control it. To the side of the net on the low baseline. Barkov in the low circle. Kicks it out front, and Reinhart misses the puck. Jones back at the high point. Kicks it to the top of the high circle. Verhaeghe looking. Gets it below the net to Tkachuk. Kachuk goes out high. Jones scores, and he... Damn it. I was going to say Jones shoots and he scores, but I went with Jones scores and he shoots. It's almost like you'd think I've never done this before. Yeah, Kachuk gets it behind the net, and the obvious one is either skate it out or send it to Barkov on the low dot, and he just goes all the way high to Jones, who sends it, immediately sends it and beats Delars. And then Kachuk goes and gives a little elbow to McCabe. All right, hang on. They still don't have the goal up yet. Riley headed back the other way. 2-on-1. He shoots and he scores. Oh, my goodness. Morgan Riley walks into the Florida zone. 2-on-1. Takes the shot and buries it against Bob Roski. And that was short-lived for Florida fans. Scoring for the Florida Panthers with a power play goal, Seth Jones, assisted by Kachuk and Verhaeghe. But hold that thought. That is absolutely insane. Yeah. Scoring for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Morgan Riley. Unbelievable what is going on right now. All right, 2:13 to go in the first period. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. There we go. All right. 2 minutes to go, and we have a stoppage. Get that going. Ugh. I cannot believe what we are seeing right now. Dude, they're sitting here showing the bench instead while the puck's live. I don't get these producers. Ooh. Reinhardt got a little bump on McCabe, but now Matthews headed back the other way. 90 seconds to go in the first period. Shots are 9-4 Toronto Maple Leafs. Dominating. Nice. Matthews shoots, and Bobrovsky makes the glove save. And a stoppage with 1:21 to go in the first period. Wild. Good stop by Bob. Marner needed to get in front of the net instead of waiting on the side. He needed to cross in front, try and get a momentary screen. Shot attempts are 21-9 Toronto. Shots on net are 10-3? Because they just added that one. 10-4 Toronto. Face off to the right of Bob. Toronto wins it. Good stick by Florida, but they can't quite get it out. And now they do. Lundell gets it in. Marchand up high sends it. Hits Lushtanen right out front. And now Domi has it across the red line. Kulikov back. And Florida. Mikola's going to work the way out of the zone, all the way up ahead. Marchand in the zone, but he forgot the puck. 50 seconds to go in the first period. Schmidt dumps it deep. Comes right back out. Nate Schmidt dumps it again. And the Leafs don't get it out. Tkachuk tries to get it across the ice, and that ends up out of play. Dumped back in. Pacioretty kicks it ahead, but Florida's there to send it back. And Toronto gets it right out. Good grief, guys. Can we not play in neutral for the last 30 seconds? 10 seconds to go in the first. And we get a stoppage. So we'll get a face-off in the Florida zone right before intermission. I'm going to laugh if Toronto just buries one right now off the face-off. They win. Riley looking, gets a shot by Marner, and Bob makes the stop with a second and a half. Man, it caught him down low, but he had a weird, his body was weird, so he had to jump off his knees. He wasn't quite sure where the puck was. That was close to being a little bit dangerous. Face off on the low dot to the right of Bobrovsky. A second and a half. Matthews gets the shot on, and it is stopped by Bobrovsky. And we are headed to first intermission. Toronto just absolutely dominating. I mean, on shot attempts, they're winning. On shots on goal, they're winning. Obviously, on goals, they're winning. And Toronto's 3-0 and leading after the first. Florida needs an answer. And I'm trying to think. I'm trying to give credit to what it might be. Oh, dude, William Nylander got the assist on the goal for what was that, Morgan Riley? Yeah. So there have been 3 goals for Toronto. Nylander has 2 goals and an assist. That is insane. I don't know. Bob's getting beat. I knew there would be a lot of goals, but I expected Bob to be a lot better than 25% on the saves. Is it 3, right? Yeah, 25% on the saves. Sorry, 75% saves. That's rough. I mean, granted, Stolarz also has a 75% save percentage, right? So, I mean, that's actually funny. I just realized they have an equal. It's 3-1, and both goalies have the same save percentage. Oh, man. Curious to see if this is just Toronto at home doing things they do at home, or if it's Florida just not being prepared, because right now they just don't look prepared. I'm still surprised Domi went to the box for that penalty, for the first penalty. I just don't get it. But 33 seconds in, 1-0. That's a tough way to start. And then Florida brings it within 1, and boom, Leafs go right back. So, I mean, as 2-on-1, Morgan Riley walked right in and beat Bob. Plain and simple. So, we'll see how Florida responds. As of right now, the hits are 20-11 Panthers. Obviously, they're not hitting for any purpose other than to hit. The one hit I saw Florida try to make was when Kulikov got wrecked by McCabe in the low corner of the Florida zone. Other than that, everything Florida's doing is once the puck's gone. And we've talked about that before where, yeah, I mean, it's effective to just kind of beat guys up, hopefully tire them up that way. But it's a lot more demoralizing when you hit the shit out of somebody and it has an effect on the play. So, again, we'll see how Florida responds. They better come out aggressive and ready to go. But I don't know that's going to happen. All right, timer's up. We will be back for the start of the second period. See you guys soon. Alrighty, y'all. We are back waiting for puck drop of the second period in Toronto. So far, a very one-sided game. Both goalies sitting at a 75% save percentage. However, one's faced 12 shots and one's faced 4. William Nylander went on hat trick watch. Let's see. 12 minutes and 51 games, or 12 minutes and 51 seconds into this game, William Nylander went on Hattie watch. And then he got the assist for with Morgan Rielly. In 2023, when Toronto and Florida played, Nylander had 2 goals, 3 points total in 5 games. Tonight, in game 1, he has 2 goals and 3 points total. We'll see if he shuts down for the next 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever. Behind Stellaris. Ooh, Florida looks like they want to skate a little bit aggressive. They keep it in. All these pop-ups keep coming up and blocking the number. Reinhardt ends up losing it. Big hit by Verhaeghe down low. That's another big hit by Verhaeghe. That's what they're going to need. Puck comes out. Matthews tips it in. Jones kicks it around the net to Forsling. Forsling goes up ahead. Barkov makes a little move between the legs. Turns around to throw it towards the net. Goes off Reinhardt's stick. Back on the backboards. Toronto whiffs on the out, but Tavares still able to get up. Get it in. Mikkola behind Bob's. Bounces it off the wall, and Florida gets it out of the zone. Marchand now getting it forward. Lustrinen. Across. Lustraninen. That's how you pronounce that? Come on. Lawton almost had an entry into the zone, but Belinsky's made a good play on the puck to knock it away. Florida turns it over in their own zone. But Lawton can't control the puck. Lorentz gets it to the point, and then it's sent down low up into the high corner. Tkachuk. All kinds of people all over the place, and Florida's going to end up with it. But we have a penalty. Looks like we are getting a hook on Florida. And it is. Belinsky's catches a hook in front of the net. I am not, like I said, I want to see a Nylander power play just for the hell of it. Ugh. I wanted to see it in the first period. Toronto sends it on net. Barkov fights it off to the low wall. Leafs not able to keep it in. Marner's going to reset. Getting deeper and deeper in his own zone. He starts heading forward. But he will kick it back. Nylander across the red line into the zone to the high wall. And it misses. Good play coming back by Tavares. Keeps Barkov from heading the other way. Marner again from his own zone. Leaves it off. Matthews. Back to the high wall. Nylander down to Matthews. Comes to the low wall. Nice. Trying to get it to the low point. He does. Marner kicks it a little forward to Tavares. Tavares doesn't have a lot of space. Trying to get it back to Marner. The puck goes back to the Leafs zone. 60 seconds left in the Toronto power play. And The Leafs. Oop, now they get in. Patchy gets it to Domi. Everybody is misplaying it for Toronto. Everybody. It gets back out. Ekman Larson resetting. Domi from his own zone. He has Patchy on his right, as well as Riley. He leaves it off for Pacioretty. Pacioretty thought he was leaving it off for Riley, and Florida sends it the other way. Riley, good pass from Stolarz all the way up. Shot from McMahon hits Barkov out front. Schmitty gets it deep, and 10 seconds to go on the Toronto power play. Ekman Larson gets it across neutral, tipped in deep. Kulikov chasing it. He gets it to the high corner. Little battle. Ooh, Bennett falls over but gets back up in possession of the puck. And we are back to even strength. And Balinskis gets it in deep. Tanev sends it up the wall. He doesn't get it out. Out front, Tkachuk mishandles it as he gets run into by Bennett. Nope, he got run into by Reinhart. Rodriguez gets it to Bennett. Nobody home. Tkachuk gets beat by Toronto bodies in front of the crease. All the way down, and Mikula kicks it to Jones on the high wall. All the way up to the high point into the zone. Boquist sends it deep. Greer gets it back to Boquist, up to the point. Back to Boquist, top of the high circle. He shoots, hits the body out front. Forsling able to keep it in and get a shot on Stolarz, who fights it off. Jones gets down low. Sturm battling Greer, trying to help as Jones is pinned against the wall. And Holmberg able to get it out. Tavares with a big backhand, and then Jones goes flying into the net. Holmberg's getting a penalty. I didn't actually... Got a cross-check on Holmberg. All right, let's get to the penalty. Good save, Stolarz, but let's get to the penalty. There we go. Get out of here. Bro, Jones goes down that easy. I need to see it in full speed, but it looked like he pushed him, not like he cross-checked him. I feel like Jones went down super easy right there. Florida power play. Ooh, a little bit of a mix-up between Verhaeghe and Barkov. Barkov gets it deep. Stolarz slows it down. But Florida ends up with it. To the point, Jones. Down the high wall. Tkachuk gets it to the top of the low circle for Verhaeghe. He shoots and is stopped by Stolarz. Tkachuk at the high point. Gets it over to Verhaeghe again, but it misses him. And Marner is going to be able to get it out. Not far, though. But Florida will take it into their own zone anyway, even though they caught it at neutral. And Reinhart gets in, leaving it off to Verhaeghe. Passes off, but Toronto does not get it clear. Barkov down the low wall. Marner makes a nice little bump pass, and I don't know who that is. Hang on. Yarncroc. I should know that. He's the guy I keep forgetting. Bennett Cross the red line, into the Leafs zone, up the high wall, trying to make the corner. He does not. Leafs don't clear. Schmidt keeps it in. Marchand across to the high point. Tkachuk to Rodriguez, to Tkachuk, to Marchand on top of the low circle. Shot goes wide. Marchand on the low wall, back to the dot. Schmidt kicks it down to the high circle. High dot, Tkachuk kicks it to the baseline. And I don't know why I keep saying kicks it. Tkachuk from the high dot, back to the baseline. Bennett tries to stuff Stellaris again. What's the stoppage? I'm guessing we're getting a goaltender interference on Florida. Okay, we went to commercial break. I didn't see I saw Stellaris laying down, but I didn't see the reason for the stoppage. So I am a little bit curious about what just happened. Let's see if they got it on the play-by-play already. No. Nope. Just referee or line person whistle. Line person. Lines person. That's what we're going with? Lines person. That's much more convenient than linesman. Anyway. 12:40 to go in the second period. Shots are 14-9 Toronto. So we have 2 shots this period for Toronto and 5 for Florida. Much better showing. But we're on the third power play for Florida. They need to score on this one if they want to keep it going. 5 hits to 4 for Florida. Like I said, Florida has 25 hits. Their biggest hit was when Kulikov got blasted by the reverse hit of McCabe. I mean, McCabe just let Kulikov think that he didn't see him coming. And Kulikov skating in, you could see him licking you could see the excitement on his face as he's about to light up McCabe. And McCabe just plants and leans and puts his shoulder straight to his sternum and drops him. What a great reverse hit. I really do hate the mid-period interviews. I always it's what do you need to do to win the game? Well, we got to score more goals than the other guys. Yeah, how do you plan on doing that? Well, by putting the puck in the net. Thank you, Ann. Leafs. Keep it in, but Kulikov gets a stick in front of Tavares to send the puck up and out. Yeah, the screen that Tavares set up, he beat Jones' ass to hold his position. Big interference right there that I didn't see. That was like, what the hell was that? Greer just took out I guess it wasn't Tavares. I'm not sure who it was. Tanev throws it on net and it goes in. How did that go in? Tanev just kind of loosely tosses it towards the net, but that is why. Pucks to the net, bodies to the net. I can't believe Bobrovsky let that one bounce between them. Face-off is one to the right of Bob. Goes to high point, goes to low point, and Tanev just kind of tosses it towards the net. It never got touched. Bobrovsky, it ended up going under Bob's arm. If he didn't have his arm out, it'd have gone right past and missed the net. And to the brick wall. Not looking more like a chain link fence. Domi gets it across, and the Leafs are going to take it out of their zone. Domi, top of the low circle, almost got it across to McMahon, but it doesn't connect. Still waiting for the goal to call it. Scoring for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Chris Tanev, assisted by McCabe and Nyes. Still waiting. All right, 11 to go in the second period. Puck back behind Bobrovsky. Florida trying to get it up and out, and they do. Boquist kind of misses it. Puck ends up back in the Florida zone. Ooh, a little bit of a play that didn't need to happen, but Florida gets it out. Greer tries to throw it towards the net. It goes up to the high corner. Sent underneath the nets, trying to get it out front to Marchand. It doesn't get through. McCabe on Marchand. Greer came in to help out. And Yarncroke headed out. Gets it deep for Toronto as they go to change. Kulikov trying to reset in his own zone. Pressured by Pacioretty. Florida comes out. Getting it deep from the red line. Pressure behind. And the puck's going to come to the low wall. Lustrinanen gets it out. Up to Nylander. He's going to send it down the wall to... Oh, actually, that's Pacioretty. I thought that was 27. That's 67, and we get a hold. Toronto's going back on the power play. All bad news, and Belinsky's is going for the second time to the sin bin. With 9:46 to go in the second period, shots are 15-9 still in favor of Toronto. Oh, Florida fans, it is not looking good. Ooh, shit. Alright. Get rid of that. Bring up one other thing real quick. Ooh. At least it's... Well, never mind. I can't even say that. This has absolutely not been what I expected. Again, I thought... silly me thinking Florida would come out the way they did against Tampa. Just aggressive, hitting everybody hard. I mean, it's like they're trying to hit, but they're just not really doing it. Like, again, 26-15. Would anybody guess that Florida has 11 more hits than Toronto right now? Doesn't look like it. All the hits are off camera well after the puck's gone, so Florida just kind of wasting their time with the petty bullshit. Toronto's doing okay. Like, I still don't understand the first penalty against Toronto. Talked to Pops about it. Doesn't make sense. Brad Marchand goes and cross-checks like 3 Maple Leafs, and Domi goes to the box for cross-checking. I don't get it. Damn, Toronto's got the longest drought. 56 seasons. Oh. Two minutes to Toronto with the extra man. Oh, let's drop the puck. I'm sorry. What? I mean, Bennett ran into him. Bennett hit his head, but that did not look anything like Stolarz needed to lay on his stomach like that. I'm just saying. Nylander into the zone. I was going to say, I thought that was offsides, and it was called. Oh, man. You know, I've said it before. I still don't understand sitting at the sitting behind the benches. Just makes it so hard to see anything. Florida gets it all the way back. Nylander has it. Tavares gonna bring it across neutral and dumps it deep. Nylander to catch it down low and send it behind the net. Tavares trying to tip it around. It goes up and out. Marner resets. Ooh. Gets it deep to Bobrovsky. And Nyes behind the net with Tavares. Jones getting worked on by Tavares. Sorry, other way around. Jones putting work on Tavares. Matthews goes down low. Beats Forsling. Marner up high. And hits Lusternin and skates. Domi shoots. Goes up and hits the back wall. Nyes gets it out. Matthews diving save to keep it in play. Tavares to Marner. Top of the high circle. He gets it to Tavares down low. And the tip to Nyes goes straight in the air. Nyes tries to go to the point and sends it all the way back to Stolarz. Ekman Larson now resetting from his own zone. And Domi's pass gets interrupted by Lundell. Marchand collecting it. Kulikov. And the puck goes the other way, but we are back to full strength. Trying to get it out front. Almost a great opportunity. Had McMahon right at the front of the net. Good pressure. Does not allow the pass to connect. Back in the Leaf zone, Ekman Larson takes a bump from Lindell as he tries to work it up the low corner. Toronto going up the high wall. McMahon hits it way too soft. Verhaeghe spinning around. Gets it to the point. Shot. Hits Pacioretty way out high. Verhaeghe gets it to Barkov. Barkov kicks it down to Belinsky's. Belinsky's tries to get it in the center, and it hits a stick. The stick of Riley. Verhaeghe trying to get it to the center, and Domi disrupts the pass. Verhaeghe currently still has it, sends it around down low all the way to the high point. Nate Schmidt collects it to Belinsky's at the low point. Back to the high point. Storming in, and a shot is fought off by Stolarz. Florida has it down low. Verhaeghe tries to get it out front, and Barkov misses it. Panthers still controlling. Belinsky's across the blue line to the low point. Verhaeghe dead center. Looking. Kicks it back to Belinsky's at the point. He goes back the other way. Circling right up the gut. Kicks it to the top of the high circle. Shot by Verhaeghe from the middle, and it's stopped by Stolarz. Good Lord, that was a hell of a ozone presence from Florida. Oh, very good save off of Reinhardt. Great blocker save. Face off to the left of Stellars. Up the high wall, and Jones gets it deep. McCabe kicks it around, and Toronto does not get it out. That's a hand pass, though. And and Tkachuk plays the hand pass. Face off to neutral. 6:03 to go in the second. Shots are 16-11 Toronto. Who is that? Lawton got kicked out of the face-off. All right. Tanev tries to get it up to Yarncroc. It eventually does get in. And Florida goes back the other way. Bennett, 3-on-2 if Florida hurries. Kicks it to the right and it goes to the boards. Yo, what's up, Yori? And a big stop by Stellars. Yori came into this game playing as if they own the place. I definitely, I don't disagree with you, but 33 seconds in, they were shown they don't own shit. No, the problem with Florida is instead of coming in again like they did against Tampa and hitting everybody that had the puck, they came in and decided to hit everybody 4 seconds after they got rid of the puck. So even though they have 29 hits, not a single one of them has meant an ounce of anything. Like, Toronto has 17 hits, but they've been great. They're so arrogant. Hey. You know, you got the fact that I'm still irritated that Domi went to the box because Marchand went and cross-checked everybody on the ice. It's wild. But, yeah, Toronto's going to have to figure out their power play. This is a great game to do it. I mean, they're kind of figuring out the penalty kill, but it's a great time to figure out their power play because they're going to have a lot more opportunities than the 3 they've already had. As long as the refs keep calling stuff, which they're doing it. The refs seem to be calling the stuff that they, it's one of those, if they called every penalty, this game would not, there'd be a whistle every, 4 seconds of gameplay. But they're calling stuff that needs to be called. So I'm actually not happy with these guys, but they're doing the best I've seen in the playoffs. I'll give them that. But I see, more penalties to come. Wait, is Wool in now? Did I misread that? Because I checked earlier. Oh, Wool is in. See, I thought something didn't look right, but I just didn't even think about it and I didn't look. And I'm like, no, wait, 60's in the net. Coming back the other way, Mikkola stops it, and Toronto gets it right back out of their zone through neutral. Leafs working their way in. Nylander shoots, and it's fought off by the blocker of Bobrovsky. Face off in the Florida zone. 4:50 to go in the second. I said Nylander going on Hattie Watch 12 minutes and 50 seconds into the game is wild. Because Bennett hit Stolarz in the head, passing in front of the crease. And I'm going to admit, I didn't think it was that hard a contact, but apparently it was hard enough. But yeah, Stolarz made a play that he was going forward, and Bennett was coming across the top of the crease, and he was in white. He was in white paint. He was not in the crease. But Stolarz fell forward as Bennett came across and ended up, I don't like either with the arm or something, ended up catching Stolarz in the head. Ooh, Marner loses the puck. Florida keeps it in for the moment. And then a good battle by Marner beats Reinhart to get the puck out. Deep into the Florida zone. Nice. Just destroyed Jones in a shot missed by the Leafs. Wow. I'm loving these big hits, man. They're few and far between. Like I expected way more major contact in this game. And it just, I guess it's going to be later in the series. Wool makes another save. I keep saying Stolarz. Puck out to neutral. Leafs get it. Dump it in on Bobrovsky, who plays it to the high point. Jones misses it. One hands it up and out. Florida coming back the other way. Rodriguez with Tkachuk, but Rodriguez gets it stolen. And Domi just didn't know the puck was coming his way, or else he had an advantage. Leafs keep it in. Shot. Hits a skate out high. Domi just got cross-checked by Belinsky's. Domi dumps it underneath. Circling around. Ooh, a good stick, but defenseman headed back the other way. Bennett with Schmidt. Bennett kicks it up, and it hits a stick and goes wide of the net. Oh, that was offsides. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. 2:55 to go in the second. Shots are 17-14. Toronto. Dude, Nyes just buries Jones, makes a great backhand, and then Matthews puts it over the corner of the net. Like I said, the hits are way mismatched in favor of Florida, right? 34-17. Florida has twice as many hits as Toronto. However, Toronto has twice as many hits that matter as Florida. Later, Yori. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Hope you have a good rest of your Monday, man. Enjoy the rest of the game. Boquist headed up the other way with Sturm to his left. Greer behind him. And Toronto forces it behind the net. Riley dumps it deep for the Leafs. And the puck comes out high in neutral. Leafs get it. Tanev sets it back for McCabe. Back to Tanev in the Leafs low corner. And McCabe sends it all the way through. A tip. Does not quite get through to set up Yarncroc, but damn, that was close. Reinhart sends it all the way around in the Leafs zone. Verhaeghe tries to tip it back to the point, and the Leafs send it out. Minute 45 to go in the second period. Forsling trying to get it moving in the right direction, but he cannot. All the way back to Bob Jones. Big stretch pass all the way to the opposing blue line. Tanev ends up with it, and the puck sent back up. Great pass. Didn't see it be a little bit of a misread. Slowed down the receiver, but that was a good pass. Schmitty throws it down low. Puck ends up on the low boards. Not able to get it out. Belinsky's does a good job keeping it in. And Ekman Larson sends it around the high boards. It is out, and it is icing. 60 seconds on the dot to go in the second period between Toronto and Florida. Big hit. Pacioretty on Sturm. I mean, he absolutely hit him in the head first, whether it was with his stick or with his glove. He definitely caught him in the head. But otherwise, it was a good hit. I said they're showing this 30 hits at 34-19 Vegas. Sorry, Vegas, Florida. It's like, so what though? None of those hits have meant anything. The biggest hits have come from Toronto. You just had that one from Pacioretty. You had the one from Nyes, and you had the reverse hit from McCabe earlier. I don't remember any Florida hits. Kulikov on the high boards battling. Florida gets it to the blue line. Shots. And it's fought off by Wool. Tanev able to move it up, and Toronto gets it out. 20 seconds to go on the clock. Florida trying to get back the other way. Leafs end up in the Florida zone. Oh, big hit. Wow, Holmberg got blasted as he made his way to the net for the shot. I want to say that was Tkachuk, but see, that was straight on the numbers. That one was straight on the numbers, but the hit in front of the net was massive. Damn. No, that was Kulikov. Just, hey, man, that was perfectly clean. No, it wasn't. He definitely hit Holmberg in the head, but Holmberg was presented down. I was like, honestly, that's a hit. Yes, he hit him in the head. I don't have too much of a problem with that because Holmberg's driving in towards the net. Kulikov has the right to attempt to stop him. I don't know how anybody else would feel about that. I kind of would understand an argument from either side, but oh, that was a big hit. But all right, that is the start of second intermission. We will be coming back shortly for the start of the third period. Toronto destroying Florida. Biggest hits, except for that one. That was the first good one. But Florida cannot score 5-on-5. You got Stolarz out and Wool in after contact by Bennett. And so far, Wool doing just as good a job. So, can Florida out-pressure Toronto? They've had to work, but not that hard. So, I think the Leafs will be able to hold out. We'll see when we get back for the third period. See you guys soon. All righty. Coming back for the start of the third period. Can Florida make their miraculous comeback? Will Toronto be able to hold the Panthers off? We find out at the end of the next 20 minutes. I say 20 minutes, about the next hour-ish. I'm seeing Toronto having no problem doing what they came here to do. Was not expecting I was not expecting this start. I was not expecting Toronto to score in 33 seconds. I was not expecting Nylander to have 3 points in the first period. I was not expecting brick wall Bob Roski to turn into a chain link fence. Wasn't expecting Wool to go out because Bennett elbowed the shit out of the back of his head. I originally didn't think it was all that bad. Went back and re-looked. Bennett elbowed the hell out of the back of his head. That was obnoxious. And no penalty. All of the big hits except for one have come from Toronto. That hit that Kulikov put on Holmberg right out front was nasty. Holmberg drove the net trying to score. But as we're back for the third period, a little bit of action happening in the Leafs zone. But now Jones in neutral across the red line, dumps it deep. Up to the high wall, kick back underneath for Bennett. And Ekman Larson is there, kicks it ahead. Tavares gets in. Pacioretty to Riley, and Riley backhands it past Bob Roski around to the low boards. Nylander trying to work down low. And the puck comes up and out. In neutral. Tavares gets sent back by Tkachuk. Riley dumps it in from the red line. A little bit of interfering with Yarncroc, but we'll forgive that, I guess. Bob Roski settles it. Looked like it was going to Kulikov. Ends up putting it around the high boards, but he gets it out. Almost a bad turnover. Florida just scored! Pass from the low wall. Lustrinainen somehow gets that puck past Wool. Just a beautiful pass from Lundell. Caught me completely off guard. I mean, Lundell just... everything about that from Florida's perspective was fantastic. Ekman Larson gets a weak hit on. Puck comes past Lawton, who was playing. Oh, he cheated. He cheated towards the wall. Trying to get. See, he thought Lundell was going to send it down and around the net. So he cheated down low and left Lustrinainen wide open for that tip. That beats Wool. 4-2, less than 2 minutes into the third period. Big shot by Riley, and it's fought off by Bobrovsky. Florida working their way out. Take a quick look. Jeweled Bennett punched Stoli in the head. Absolutely. Bejeweled, absolutely. Like I said, I'm going to admit, the first time I watched it, I was like, wow, that really didn't look like a lot of contact. And I was looking like, man, that didn't really look like enough to drop Stolarz like that. But he went down so hard. And then I finally saw the top-down view. And it was like, oh, what a bullshit elbow by Bennett. But you are 100% right. And like I said, earlier in the stream, I was 100% wrong. Because that was a cheap shot by Bennett. He should be, like, dude needs to get suspended, but he won't be. Woll makes a stop after a puck comes loosely in front. Toronto not doing the job they did earlier, shutting down or keeping Florida to the outside. Nice coming in against Jones. Jones does enough, but gets the pass towards the middle. Marner cannot connect for the tip. And Florida gets it deep. Benoit loses it as Florida battles. Poor Stoli. He must have been dizzy. Threw up at the bench. Yeah. No, that was because that and unfortunately we got an icing by Toronto. Unfortunately, throwing up is as a somebody who's had concussions. Throwing up is a bad sign of concussion. Like I said, it really doesn't look crazy, but like I said, it really doesn't look crazy, but it was absolutely a shot to the head. And throwing up at the bench is a rough sign of concussion. So that could be the entire series gone for Stellars. Which their shot by Kachuk fought off by Wool. And Leafs get it out. Which, again, on stuff like that, like the Ekblad hit on Gensel, or sorry, Hagel, that hit right there, anything that's cheap like that deserves a suspension, it should start, like, for that, Bennett should be gone, and then once Stellars is able to return to hockey, that's when Bennett's suspension should start. So if Stellars is going to miss this entire series, well, guess what? So is Bennett. They'll never do it. They will never do it, especially to Florida. We saw that. You know, they didn't have a choice with Ekblad, but they should have with Kachuk. Belinsky's just scored. Sorry, I'm going on a rant. Meanwhile, Florida's working their way back in. Toronto has decided they don't want to play the third period. I wish I had something better to say, but and like anybody can put it on Wool, but Wool's doing the best he can with what he's given. That was a little weak, I'm not gonna lie. But that was a great shot. But dude, the Leafs do not look good. They look totally different from the first two periods. There you go. Reset. Talk to your boys. Oh, I forgot to announce. Scoring for the Florida Panthers. Eetu Lustrinen. Assisted by Lundell and Marchand. Gotta give it up. And then also scoring for the Florida Panthers. Uvis Belinskis, we'll go with. Assisted by Schmidt and Marchand. All right, Forsling trying to work out of his own zone. Pitched all the way up through neutral. Reinhardt in. He shoots and goes off the skates of the man in front of him. I was looking for a number, but his jersey's all bunched up, so I can't tell who that is. That is McCabe. Unfortunate. 5 minutes gone in the second. Sorry. 5 minutes gone in the third period. Shots are 19-16 Toronto. And all of a sudden, this game has gotten interesting. I mean, again, I didn't expect this start, and I sure as hell didn't expect this start to this third period. But here we are. Oh, puck. Kachuk ends up with a puck, but we're going to have a hooking penalty on Florida, I believe. Doesn't really matter much considering that Toronto couldn't score on a power play if you paid them. Wait a minute. They do pay them. Oh, yeah, absolutely. The only reason Kachuk ended up with it was because he got hooked. Florida can't stay out of the box, and Toronto can't score on the power play. Like, Toronto's coming in with the 35% power play through the playoffs. Florida had, 25%? And so far, it's 1-3 in favor of Florida. And this is the fourth Leafs power play. So they have 3 shots on 3 power plays. So I mean, obviously this is huge, but bro, this is huge. Especially after just getting scored on twice in how long? Less than 3 minutes. About 2:51. Florida gets it clear. Toronto, Marner from his own zone into neutral. He's going to kick it back, but Lustrinin gets a good stick on it and disrupts everything. So Matthews kicks it back. Nylander across red. 2 Nyes on the low wall. Nyes gets it deep. Forsling trying to kick it around. He does not. Nyes comes away with it to the low point. Marner down to the low baseline. Back to Marner at the point. Top of the low circle to Nylander. Looking, buying time. Nylander looking. Downloaded Tavares to Nylander. Top of the high circle to Marner. Back to Nylander. Right up the gut. Matthews. Up high to Marner. High baseline. Shot by Tavares. And it's stopped by Bob. Matthews keeps it in. Not by much. Top of the low circle. Nylander. Tries to pass it. Good stick by Forsling. Disrupts that. Marner. High baseline. Up to Matthews at the point. Shoots. Deflected puck. Ends up in the high corner. Tavares gets it back the other way to Marner. Marner below the net to Nyes. Out. High dot to Tavares. Nylander up the gut. Leaves it to the low point for Marner. Top of the low circle. Marner heads back to the blue line. Leaves it for Nylander. Top of the low circle. Nyes. Low baseline. Goes around the net. Tries to kick it out to the center. Good sticks by Florida. And finally, the Panthers clear. 10 seconds to go on the Toronto power play. Riley in his own zone gets slowed down by Reinhart. Riley kicks it back to Domi across the red line. He goes high wall. Pacioretty goes around the net. We are back to full strength. And Bennett kicks it ahead. Florida gets in. Reinhart centers to Bennett. Bennett makes some moves against Wool, and Wool makes 2 great stops. And another stop as a shot comes from the top of the low circle. Going up the low boards. Mikkola towards the net. And it misses. McMahon trying to get it out of that high corner. Good grief. Barkov still has it. Florida just winning these wall battles. Man kicks it up the high wall. Reinhart has it. He goes out to the center. Barkov makes a shot on the ice. Stopped by Wool. Finally, the Leafs get out. Pacioretty makes the red line and dumps it deep. 8 minutes gone in the third period. Shots are tied at 20 apiece. Schmitty from his own blue line. Puck gets deep. Wool plays it around, but it's a bad turnover. Nobody home. Schmidt takes the shot. It just took too long for Marchand to take the shot on Wool, who gloves another one from Marchand. That was all dangerous. Wool turned it over. I think it was to Marchand, but it just took too long to get in front of the net. Nobody was crashing, nowhere to go with it. Wool's able to recover and make 2 good stops on number 63. And we are at commercial break. Oh boy. Don't forget, tomorrow, Tuesday, 4 o'clock for Hurricanes in Washington against the Capitals. And the Edmonton Oilers visit Vegas for the second time in 2 years to play the Golden Knights in the second round. Hopefully it goes better in favor of the Knights. We just start stomping ass and call it good. But that is 4, and then starting at 4 tomorrow, 6:30 for the Golden Knights. And then on Wednesday, 4 o'clock for Game 2 of Florida and Toronto. And Game 1 of Dallas-Winnipeg. And it looks like we're on that 4 and 6:30 schedule for, let's see, until Saturday. So all week, 4 o'clock, 6:30. And then on Saturday, we start at 3. Okay. Oh, yeah. Islanders ended up taking number 1 pick for 2025 draft lottery. Face off to the left of Wolf. Florida comes away with it. Lustrinin gets it all the way across to the high boards, and now Tavares headed the other way. Pacioretty. Oh, and Riley chasing gets it to Pacioretty. They don't connect. Very good opportunity. Does not make it. Tavares on the low boards. High corner. Sorry, backboards to the high corner. Pacioretty absolutely just ran a pig. That should have been interference on Pacioretty. 1,000%. Tavares behind the net, kicks it out front. Leafs keep it in. Marner puts it on Bob. And Florida still can't clear. Finally, Barkov has it again. He still can't clear. Matthews shoots. Bobrovsky makes the save with the blocker. Finally, the Panthers make it out, but not far. Toronto resetting from their own zone. Ekman-Larsson all the way up. They get it into the Florida zone, and Barkov's going to go back the other way. Ekman-Larsson all the way around, low boards, and Leafs get it out. Barkov to Reinhart. Makes the red line, dumps it in, and it goes out of play. Face off, coming back to neutral. 10:06 to go in the third. And I am watching a totally different game than I did in the first 2 periods. But that's why they play 60 minutes of hockey. It's funny. Every time, this is like the third period where I talk to Pops and he's like, no. The team that's destroying the other team is going to end up on the losing end. And I'll be damned if he ain't pretty close to right. I'll say we got to have a penalty, right? Because Yarncroc lost his helmet. Mikkola gets a penalty for roughing. Not that it matters. How is it a 2-minute if he's bleeding? I mean, dude just spit blood out of his mouth. How are we getting a 2-minute penalty? I just don't understand. But hopefully we'll get some information when they get back. Sorry, just waiting. Don't exactly know what to expect at this point. Leafs cannot score on the power play, so again, this is almost pointless. This is going to be their 5th power play. I think they have 5 shots. Yeah. See, the thing is, Florida did all this against Tampa. They just didn't get called for it. Well, now they're getting called for it. It's just, again, Toronto should. I mean, this penalty, it should be at least 5-3. I mean, Toronto needs to score on at least one power play. Big shot. Nylander gets stopped by Bob Marner, working his way up the high boards, and it's turned over. But good job by Nylander to disrupt the exit. Riley coming out of his own zone. He has Matthews to his left. He kicks it back to Nylander, who makes the red line, hits Matthews on the left, back to Nylander up the low wall, back to Nylander on the low corner, tries to get it out front. It ends up on Marner's stick to Tavares. Riley gets it to Tavares. Another shot gets stopped out high by bodies of the Florida Panthers. 45 seconds gone on the Toronto power play. Marner. Cross the red. Leaves it back. Tavares has it. I think he wanted to go to Nylander, but it didn't work out, and we have an offsides. Toronto just so sloppy on the power play, man. That was a good stick by Forsling to disrupt Matthews. Yeah, that was a big job by Forsling right there. Face off just across the Florida blue line. In neutral. Leafs win it. Riley to Ekman-Larsson. Back to Riley down low at the red line. He's going to kick it back for Domi. Domi coming into the zone. Down to McMahon on the low wall. Domi got blasted after getting rid of the puck. Riley leaves it to Domi. Domi shoots, and it's stopped and swallowed up by Bobrovsky. 45 seconds on the Toronto power play. Shots at 25-21 Toronto. That was pretty good. Nyes got up front. He just didn't take quite enough of Bobrovsky's eyes away from him. But Schmidt let him stand there, so he did. He was doing pretty good. Good position. Face off to the right of Bob. Leafs get it. Marner. High point. Gets it all the way down to the low point, but nobody was home. A swing and a miss by Jones. Nylander has it. He works his way around the net. Big drop right there up front. I'm not sure who just put him down, but I want to see that again. As Tavares gets off the ice. Hey, buenas noches, Invernal. Welcome back, amigo. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday. We got a good one in Toronto. It shouldn't be a good one, but it is. 30 seconds on the Leafs power play. Marner to the high corner. Gets it out front. Tavares to Matthews to Nylander. And it's stopped out high. Deflected out high. Marchand can't get it clear, and finally Florida does. 15 seconds to go on the Toronto power play. 8 minutes left in the game. Riley across neutral. Puck deflected away from him, but it ends up back on his stick. He tries to get it to the net. Goes off bodies. Down low, under the net. And puck ends up down below the net. Schmidt's going to come away with it. Barkov up to Reinhart. Reinhart gets it to Verhaeghe, but it's disrupted. And Toronto setting it back further into their zone. A good little fake out right there, and they're able to move the puck forward and get it deep. Florida behind their own net. All the way up the boards. It's tipped in by Benoit, actually. Bennett chases it down. Battle going on in the lower corner of the Leafs zone. Benoit works his way up and makes a big check on somebody down low. McMahon kicking it to Domi. Domi shoots and it's saved by the glove of Bobrovsky. What a charge into the Florida zone for Domi. And a great glove by the Florida goaltender. Great shot attempt. Great save. And we are at full strength. I don't even remember when we went to full strength. I'm not going to lie. But good grief. The penalty kill for Florida doing well, and the power play for Toronto just not working it. Bobrovsky has been great, and again the Florida Florida penalty kill has shown up to play. Shot by Jones goes wide. Rebound off the backboards comes out front. Leafs recover, send it all the way down for an icing. 6:28 to go in the third. Still a one-goal game as the Leafs give up a 4-1 lead. Like I said, man, it really doesn't look like the most insane contact ever, but Bennett just... he deserves to go for a game or two. He won't because he's Florida, but he's not Kachuk, so maybe. Reinhart gets the pass over. The connection to Reinhart does not work out. I don't know who made that pass. It was a give and go. Reinhart ends up with it. Wait, Toronto going the other way, and nice! Makes the backhand on the breakaway. Lot happening in a short period of time right there. But the puck gets out ahead for Nyes as Florida goes for a change, and he beats everyone, including Bobrovsky, with a backhand. Five, 3. Yes, sir, Invernal. Marner beat Schmidt. And who was that for Florida that just got beat? That was Verhaeghe. Number 23 against number 23. What a goal. Toronto recovering. The VGK Dallas. See, for Western Conference, I could definitely see that. I could see Vegas and Dallas in the West, and Washington and Toronto in the East. I thought Florida was going to come again. I thought Florida was going to come in the way they did against Tampa, and they did not. Yeah, Invernal. So yeah, we're Vegas and Dallas in the same conference. So we could see that. That would be the second Vegas versus Dallas Western Conference final in 3 years. So it'd be interesting. We'd actually have a very similar route, except from 23, except for Winnipeg. We played Minnesota. So that would actually be wild. Vegas beats Edmonton. Dallas beats Winnipeg, and then Vegas, Dallas again. Vegas wins. Meanwhile, Florida beats Toronto, beats Washington, and we have a rematch from 23. Vegas and Florida. I gotta say that definitely could happen. I don't want it to though, because I don't want Florida going 3 years in a row. But looking at the West, I mean, I know Toronto's tapping that ass right now, but we'll see how Florida responds on Wednesday. Let's see. Just taking a quick look. Anything popping up? Yeah, that was wild. The Shen brothers. Here we go. Mm. Yeah, that hurts right a little bit. Florida wins the face-off in the Leaf zone. Puck to the high wall. Shot from the high point. Goes around the low boards. Jones sends it to the net. Goes back to Forsling at the high point. Florida just controlling in the Toronto zone. Big hit by McCabe. Matthews trying to put the work on, and he gets it out. Oh, nope. He got it free. He did not get it out, and we've got an icing. Dude, Florida had four guys for way too long. Yeah, Florida, one of the defensemen changed, and Balinskis didn't realize it. And that's how we're at 5-3. Under 5 minutes to go in the third. Rodriguez works it down, but it is misplayed by Bennett, and the Leafs get it out. Uh-oh. Nylander putting on pressure while the Panthers they seemed a little relaxed for a minute there. Back to neutral. At the red line, Bennett dumps it deep. On to Wool, who kicks it down low, and the Leafs get it out. Oh, on net. That worked out. Holmberg racing in against Balinski's, and or sorry, that was Lawton in with Balinski's, and then they go at it afterwards. 4:14 to go in the third. Expect Bobrovsky on the bench fairly soon. Walensky's out of his own zone, or sorry, yep, out of his own zone all the way down, and we have an icing on Florida. Ooh, looking forward to the games tomorrow. Washington, Carolina, but Vegas, Edmonton, you know we're looking forward to that one. Pitched all the way behind the Florida net. Matthews kicks it down. Nyes and Belinsky's battling. And Florida gets it. Rodriguez is going to get it into the Leafs zone. Tanev almost misplays it. Tanev has it on the low boards, and he gets it out. And no icing. Forsling out of the Florida zone. Watch for Bobrovsky to head towards the net, or the bench. Shot. Rebound comes right out front. Marchand has it on the high wall. Kick to the point. Kulikov shoots. Misses the net. Marchand back to the point. Another shot. Stopped by Wool. And Lawton takes the high road out. Bobrovsky has to get to the bench. Shot in deep. Tanev kicks it to McCabe. McCabe gets it all the way out. And it is no icing. Jones working up into neutral. Florida takes it across the blue line. Verhaeghe shoots, stopped by Wool. They keep trying to go low on Wool. And the Leafs got it out of the zone as Bobrovsky made it to the bench. Florida with the empty net. Into the Leaf zone. Shot fought off by Wool. Down around the boards. Tkachuk has it at the low boards. He works his way in. Pass all the way to the high dot. Doesn't connect. Verhaeghe from the top of the high circle. And the Leafs are able to get it out. Reinhart back all the way around to the high wall. Carlo tries to fight it off, but Florida keeps it in. Jones down to Reinhart. From the low circle, he misses. Carlo trying to get it out. Tavares puck comes right out front in a dangerous spot, and they score! Bennett scores on Wool. And we have a one-goal game with a minute 53 to go in the third. Argentina ice hockey is still quite unpopular. It's only played in South Argentina. Okay, it's a shame, but the sport's slowly becoming more well-known. You know, buddy, that's something that... Sorry, Bennett. I'll come back to that one sec. Carlo, I think, tried to put pressure on Bennett. The puck kind of did a little pop-up. But, yeah, it's, ice hockey, as popular as it is in America, it's not very popular, just realistically. And, when you want to play it, that's a real big bummer. But when you want to watch it, I like hockey being a little bit of a smaller crowd. It's like comparing the NHRA drag races to NASCAR. Like, the crowds are better. I like the racers better with NHRA. That's kind of how I like hockey to be compared to, like, NFL and NBA. A little bit smaller, a little bit more accessible. Oh, the puck goes through Tavares' stick and hits Carlo's stick, yeah. So the shot was essentially stopped. It sort of kind of limps its way through Tavares' stick. Like I said, hits Carlos and jumps, and it does a little pop fly as Wool is trying to make the block down low. But yeah, Invernal, it's one of those things, like, hockey will come around. It may take a very long time, but I mean, even 15 years ago, hockey wasn't as popular in the U.S. as it is now. Leafs get it in, no icing. Seemed like a little bit of a wave on the icing. Or like a little bit of a late wave. Jones brings it back into his own zone. Looking to make his way out. Expect Bob to head right back to the bench any moment. There he goes. And Reinhart has it at the low point, going all the way down to the bottom of the high circle. Shot comes on net, and Wool covers it up. Barkov getting it from the hard angle, but Wool's able to stop it and get a glove over the top of it. And Invernal, look at, like, I don't know if you're as excited about stuff like that, but as it gets more popular and you already know so much, you'll meet people who are just learning to get into it. And that's a lot of fun. You get to explain a whole bunch of stuff and talk people into being a fan of your team, and that's a good time. Bucking the low boards. Leafs get it out. Just enough of a toss to get it back, making sure not to ice. 60 seconds on the clock. Reinhart plays it up the wall, and Matthews picks it off, but he misses the net. No icing, but he misses the open net from the blue line. Tanev going back, trying to protect the puck. He takes a big hit from Bennett. Matthews swatting it up. Kachuk throws it towards the net. Leafs stop it. It hits a body out on top of the blue line. I thought it was a high stick, but no, it is not. And that's going to be icing waved. Why was that not an icing? 25 seconds to go. Somebody obviously touched it. Jones sends it. Hits a body out high. Verhaeghe gets saved by Wool. And with 6 seconds to go, Verhaeghe trying to get back in the zone. That was offsides. I don't care if they score. And Toronto is going to win game 1. Maple Leafs coming through 5-4. Had the 3-1 lead. Made it a 4-1 lead. Eventually makes it 5-2. Oh, wait. No. Eventually it becomes from 4-1 to 4-3, becoming 5-4. That was a great save by Wool. A lot of bodies out in front, and he made the kick save. Oh, see? All the traffic were blue jerseys. Florida just parted the Red Sea. Oh, it was Benoit tipped it. Damn, what a game. Good start to round 2 as Toronto takes the lead in the series 1-0. So, Stolarz being out might be big. We'll have to see how he recovers, but he gets hit in the head, throws up in the bench. That's bad news. That has concussion written all over it, so we'll have to see. Wool did a good job having to come in the situation he did, but Stolarz was playing fantastic. So we'll see what happens. Wool, I don't blame totally for those 2 goals. Maybe one of them was a little softer, or the 3 goals, but Toronto started off weak as hell in the third period, and they picked it up once Florida started coming back at them. So far, good game 1. Like I said, good game 1 of round 2. Tomorrow, we have Carolina Hurricanes in Washington against the Capitals at 4 o'clock, and the Edmonton Oilers in Vegas against the Knight, starting at 6:30. So we'll be rolling from 4 through both games. So, Invernal, I appreciate you coming and hanging out, buddy. I'm out of here for the night. We have an early one today, so going to take advantage and enjoy the fact that it's one game. Tomorrow, we are going to be busy for a couple extra hours, so looking forward to that. Lot of great hockey to come. But thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Have a great rest of your